Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Stephanie with Life School Podcast. How you doing today? And just wanted to chime in. I know everybody was viewing this panel that I was on with DJ Hemp. Shout out to DJ Hemp and all the ladies on the panel. Um, just to point out some things that, you know, disturbs me sometimes. Not saying that people are wrong. Sometimes I believe women, men, when we speak out of turn, sometimes it's fueled by a trigger or a trigger we may not know we have, you know? And so I give grace in some aspects because I myself was at a point where I just thought everything that came out of my mouth was right, or I was right in the moment, even if, you know, that may hurt your feelings, but that wasn't right, or you're not going to tell me, type of tone. But just being on that panel reconfirms every time the Wife School podcast is native that I need to help women redirect themselves, and that we can have a better image through femininity, that we can have a better image with being reserved in a way where our needs are being met and we can help meet the needs of other people because, in relationships in life, you're often in contact with somebody else. You're in contact with your parents or your friends or a coworker or a relationship, boyfriend, child. There's just so many facets of relationships. Some we might be better at than others. We may be better with children than with adults. We might be better at our job than with our own family. So just knowing how to navigate through those different aspects of relationships through the baseline of femininity can help us out so much. And I'm not begging the Black woman to be this perfect thing or to be like anything else. No. I want you to be you, but built upon a stronger foundation of who you are and how you relate to the world around you. And I think that's doable. Okay, I did it. Do I get it right 100% of the time? I'll say I get it right maybe 80 to 90%. I try, and even if I did slip up, I try to apologize. I'm big enough to do that. Okay, unless I really got to cut you off. But for the most part, I try to make amends if I was wrong. And so just going over to talk about being on the panel with Ham last week. We had a couple ladies that said, hey, my goodness. Hey, I'm not going to be disrespected like that, okay? You will know, that I'm upset. You will hear my concerns. And if I have to match that energy, I will, So I was like, it's understandable. Even though we can do something, sometimes it may not be the right thing to do. We justify a lot of things in our mind sometimes, and it may not be the right thing to do at that moment. And so we're going to hear a little bit about this. Okay? Let's see if I can get it sound going.
I think the fact that if a woman is willing to disrespect, better yet, if you're willing to disrespect on the internet, you're willing to disrespect in person.
And I love what Hamp said right then and there, just right there. How you do one thing is how you will most likely do other things. And sometimes we feel, because maybe we can get away with it, or maybe I have the freedom to, be this way in this space. Sometimes we really do have to be aware. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I have liberty to be here, but I still have to move in a certain way that's respectful to the host, that's respectful to panelists, or even myself, most of all. So I don't think sometimes we really see how we're acting in real time. More than likely lets me know with everybody, that's man, child, anything, how that person handles other things. You may sit in a crowd, you may be able to be good on a panel, but when you're in a relationship and you're having a direct, heated communication, okay, now I see how you more than likely will act with a person that gets you upset. See? Okay, let's get back to the video.
I am above disrespecting somebody unprovoked.
So
Towards
you
our
can
men.
no wait,
That may go
Miss.
towards our men, but no men on the street who I ain't dating, I ain't doing nothing with, we ain't got to have that type of relationship.
I would actually.
So this young lady, she had said, she's like, if you have no connection with a man just passing you on the street and he's being disrespectful, she said more than likely she's going to be disrespectful back. But even in this climate, the height of mental health issues that are on the streets, that are just in random places, I would definitely suggest that she wouldn't do that. I would be afraid. I would be trying to get out that situation as fast as I can. I don't want to confront a person that I don't know and it could end up bad, cursing or calling them out their name. You don't know what that person can do to you, female or male. We just had some children beat up a mom in Chicago, for goodness sakes. So if you go beating down on the children, it's just a crazy, hairy situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not advised. I definitely say it's good to stand up for yourself if you can keep it safe. If you can keep it safe, yes. If it's not a safe situation, if your intuition's telling you to leave. Get out there, stranger danger, go to the next best thing, a police officer, security guard, anybody else, to seek help, because you do not know people's intentions out here on the street.
It would behoove you to show deference to men that you don't know, especially because you don't determine the repercussion of said action if it is disrespect, right? And the truth is, right, if what Coach Tay says that may happen can happen, then I just want we to make sure that we cognizant of that while we walk around in the earth. Because here's the honest truth. So with random men to be disrespectful, you may be walking a fine line because you don't determine the outcomes of it.
Yeah, it's a fine line for sure.
You see
what I'm saying though? Right? I'm saying the random man like just coming out like just going crazy, like
even with that him,
you are a doormat though, to a lot of men, just because you guys are like average size women, right? Like it is so if you're trying to meet disrespect with disrespect, you have to be prepared for the extreme outcome, because if it does happen, that quote unquote doormat thing is a real probability, just because of the physical prowess that the Most High gave us, right?
So sometimes you do got to take a couple of breaths and think about what you say before it comes out. Right. And I ended this clip that was clipped that said, you have to take a couple of breaths and think about the words you're about to say out of your mouth. And trust me, that takes discipline. You have to unlearn to relearn. Unlearning is going to a therapist. Unlearning is knowing what words set you off. You were probably fine when they said, oh, you don't smile, whatever. Okay, cool. But when he said, oh, where's your hair at? Oh, now all the gloves come off. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they'll say some low blow stuff out here. And then next thing you know, that tick tick goes off, and then who knows what's going to happen. But an older guy that I was dating, he said, you have to really think about what you're going to say before you say it. And that has always stuck with me, because you literally cannot take the words back after you said them. You cannot take it back, and it could have offended a child, a man, like it just all across the board. We should practice thinking about what we're going to say before we say it. You know, often when I'm on these panels, I have to write down my notes. I got to write down what I'm going to say, because I don't want it to go left. Often a lot of things I have to take notes because I don't want things to go left. Or and also being on these panels, a person asks me all the time. He said, "You never asked me why I said it." So while I was so busy having my own assumptions, he said, "That's not what I was talking about. You didn't ask me to clarify that." Or yeah, so it makes sense. So even asking for a clarification, taking a couple of breaths will help things not be so inflammatory, because we have the image, or the image has been put on us, the angry Black woman. Yes, we may have something to say, but we're changing that. We're changing that in 2026. We're going to be better. You're not going to label me. You're not going to accept that label of an angry Black woman, because you're going to know how to be assertive, which means that you talk with authority and not disrespect. And you're going to have self-worth. You're going to have higher self-esteem. You're going to have a confidence about yourself, that there wouldn't need to be the avenue of disrespect. There's no need for you to come out your mouth sideways, because people are going to know you're that woman. People are going to know just by the way you carry yourself. And if nobody's respecting you, you have the power to just be silent or leave the conversation in a respectful manner, saying, hey, I can't talk at the moment. I don't have the right words to say. I would like to dismiss myself from the conversation until I have the right words to say, because I don't want to speak out of turn. And, I'm trying to be mindful and respectful. There's always a way to curate what you need to say, not lie, to curate it in a way that is respectful for you and respectful to the other person. And when when it was just shown and people kept reviewing this, people kept reviewing it because of the perceived disrespect that was there, and then sometimes I'll sympathize with that women may not articulate it the best, because when you're upset and your emotions are running high, you may hear things that you didn't hear, or you may articulate something and it doesn't come out the way you want to say it. So I do give grace. This is why I said we can come back and apologize if we were cross or, out of sorts, and I can't wait to start just bringing just a few presentations online just to start talking about that, because sometimes as a woman, you hold on to so much stuff that when you are presented in such a way, then it just all comes out, because we hold a lot of stuff sometimes. And that is under the guise of being strong and that we can handle this. And you're human, but don't blow your top when in a situation that's getting heated. It can make you or break you. And we're definitely not into the breaking aspects of us. We're stepping into our femininity even harder this year. This world, is changing so fast, and we have to catch up. It's like the time to catch up was definitely 5 years ago. Definitely. It's hard to hear, certain topics as women, but you know what? God got you. You know what? You can work on becoming a better person. You can work on becoming a more peaceful person, a person that doesn't get offended so easily. Oh, okay. No problem. That's what I said. No problem. Not a problem. I make a lot of mental notes. So if I know people are moving different or moving funny, I make a mental note. I don't come out my mouth necessarily to say anything, unless I absolutely need to nip it in the bud. But other than that, I make a mental note and I move and act accordingly. All right? Because we still have to have a decorum and a respect about ourselves as women, especially as Black women. A lot of other women can get away with a lot of things, but we can carry ourselves in a gracious manner, a resilient manner, a beautiful feminine woman that is assertive and she's serious and she's gracious all at the same time without having to be disrespectful. And that's definitely for sure. And I will be coming out again with some content. Just have to drop in and talk about that content real quick, because I thought it was very important. It is the foundation of a lot of things, which is femininity, how to conduct ourselves, how well we know ourselves, and how well we know ourselves in situations, conversations, relationships, all these things. That is the true foundation. And once we unlearn certain things and habits and traits and misbehaviors, we can do a total 180. And people are like, "Hey, I noticed that you're kind of like different." You're absolutely right. I am. And I can't wait to bring some more of that content. So have a good day, good night, wherever you are. God bless you.